we proudly present these miniature masterpieces of Judaic art that can be enjoyed at the Magnus Museum and in hundreds of collectors' homes throughout the United States. The history of the Jews in America begins with the Jews in Europe. It was through the efforts of Don Isaac Abravanel, distinguished biblical scholar and statesman, and Comptroller General Luis de Santangel, that Christopher Columbus was able to hold his first meeting with King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella in 1486. Both men also helped to finance the historic voyage in 1492. And it was the Portuguese royal mathematician Abraham Zacuto who supplied Columbus with astronomical tables and navigational instruments. He set sail from Spain the day after the last of hundreds of thousands of Spanish Jews had departed. The interpreter that Columbus chose to accompany him was Luis de Torres. The only known Jew on the voyage also became the first European settler in the New World in Cuba. By the time of the Revolution, the Jewish population in America was about 2,500. Chaim Salomon, a young Polish refugee, made liberal advances of money without interest to such members of the Continental Congress as James Madison. Salomon invested heavily in Continental stocks and bonds, leaving his family virtually penniless when he died at the age of 45. The fully restored Touro Synagogue is the oldest Jewish house of worship in the United States. It was made a national shrine in 1947. Over 150 years earlier, George Washington, the newly elected President of the United States, wrote to the President of the Congregation, "To bigotry give no sanction, to persecution no assistance." In late August 1776, when news came that the British were approaching New York, Rabbi Gershom Seixas decided to close the Spanish-Portuguese synagogue. Many members of the congregation had been outspoken against the British, and their lives were in jeopardy. Rebecca Gratz was born while America was still fighting for its independence. Her most significant accomplishment was the founding of the Hebrew Sunday School Society, the first of its kind in America. Rebecca Gratz earned literary immortality when Sir Walter Scott modeled the Jewish heroine in Ivanhoe after her. Uriah P. Levy had to defend himself in a duel and endure 6 courts-martial, all instigated by anti-Semitism. Commodore Levy abolished flogging in the U.S. Navy. He is also remembered as the preserver of Monticello, Thomas Jefferson's home, which Levy renovated, restored, and willed to the people of the United States. In 1883, leading American artists and writers were invited to contribute works to raise funds to build the Statue of Liberty's pedestal. The highest prize was earned by a sonnet written by Emma Lazarus titled The New Colossus. It included these immortal words, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free." One of the most famous names in the world is Levi's, referring to the best-selling denim pants that were first manufactured by Levi Strauss during the California Gold Rush. His company has remained a family-run enterprise for over 125 years and is now the largest apparel manufacturer in the world. Around the turn of the century, Adolph Oakes took on the monumental task of reviving the financially ailing New York Times. He insisted on an impartial approach to the news and introduced the famous motto that still appears every day on this great newspaper's masthead, "All the news that's fit to print." Rabbi Judah L. Madness was the founder and first chancellor of the Hebrew University in Jerusalem, where he guided this great institution for more than 20 years. While still in the United States, Madness founded the Kehillah, a union of Jewish communal organizations in New York City. And in February 1912, he invited Henrietta Szold to hold a meeting in his study at Temple Emmanuel that led to the founding of Hadassah.